All right, we're joined by Max Cavalera. How are you today, Max?
Great.
Start of the tour must be exciting.
It is. It's a bit nerve-wracking because it's a big show, LA, and all that.
Of course.
We have a lot of friends, labels, and guests, but we're all very excited, especially because I love touring. I love going on tour.
You live for it.
Yeah, I live for it, and I couldn't wait to get out of my house. So it's finally here.
Yeah. Well, I know it's so much of a family affair too now. How many of your sons are involved with your touring?
Right now, we have two of our sons here. My wife is our manager, she's travel with us. Zion's playing drums, and the drum tech Jason is also my son. So yeah, it's kind of cool. Like the other two stay home. Rich is doing his record with another band called Inside, and Igor is just home writing his book. He's got a book coming up.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, do they naturally gravitate to the music? Do they ask to get involved, or?
Yeah. Most of them, are involved with music. Zion and Igor, they have a band called Loricom, which is really, really cool. I'm a big fan of what they do. Richie has Insight, which is more kind of be more like a Lamb of God, like a new style metal, and yeah, Zion plays with me. This is his second record with me, and he's doing fantastic, especially on this new album. He really kicked ass and did a great job, and I'm very excited. My relationship with him on tour, especially, is really more like a band member than a dad. I'm not much of a dad, I don't have to be, so I'm more of a band member.
Right, treat him like an adult and like a band member.
And don't buck up, don't mess up, and keep playing good. And, it's pretty good, I think he's young, he's only 20 years, so he's got a lot of energy, which is really cool, untapped, powerful energy that goes back into the band. And we got a new bass player too, Mike. So, very excited for this new lineup of Soulfly that starts today.
Yes, we love to inaugurate that. Now, I know brotherhood and family means a lot to you. Obviously, coming up with Sepultura with your brother, talk about growing up. What was the first music that really excited you? Growing up in Brazil, when you heard some music, what was the music that really moved you?
Queen. We went to see Queen in
stadium show.
Stadium, yeah, 100,000 people.
Wow.
And it was an amazing. They were touring for the album The Game, so they were on the top of the after a game.
Mercury.
Oh yeah, he had the crowd on top of his hand, palm of his hand the whole time, and making everybody sing and
everybody's hands in the air. And
so after that, I kind of I got into rock and started to AC/DC, Black Sabbath, Van Halen. I was a big Van Halen fan, as a kid. Big. I loved the first 5 albums.
Sure.
And then it got heavier, man. One day we discovered Venom and Slayer, and it was all over after that. And we decided
couldn't turn back. It got heavier and heavier.
We decided to create our own brand of music too. We started Sepultura.
Yeah. Well, amazing to see that happen. Now, with the new album, Archangel, what are you most proud of achieving with this? What's the development of the band?
I think most proud is a different album, and it's exciting, exotic. I'm not even sure exactly what this album is yet. I'm still figuring it out, but I think it was really a lot of work went into it, like a whole year of work. I worked very close with Matt Hyde, the producer, on the lyrics, on the vocals, especially on the delivery, and the subjects, a lot of the biblical subjects on the album. And I think he has an exotic thing about it that's really with the album cover, which is done by Eliran Cantor. I think it's a beautiful album cover. To the songs itself, which are very influenced by extreme metal. So it's a very kind of it's an album that was forged in the underground. I think still, even after 30 years, this album very much comes out of underground music, and I think it has new influences and new talent in it. Like Todd from Nail sings on it, and Matt from King Parrot sings on it, and I'm very, very pleased. And I'm very surprised about the reviews. They're very positive. I'm not so used to good reviews. You know, a lot of my stuff people put under the microscope and compare it to old stuff, and that's always hard. You know, when you compare with stuff like
you got to keep evolving.
Like a Rise and Chaos AD. And it's not at the same time, so you can't compare them. You know,
different era.
So I was very surprised that the reviews were actually very positive. A lot of people that didn't like Soulfly liked Archangel, which was to me, it was very cool.
Mm-hmm. Now, as you've constantly evolved as an artist and as a writer, you know, what advice do you give to people coming up? So to instill, whether it be your sons or anyone that seeks advice that you've learned.
I think, you know, believe in your dream, and I think it's very powerful when you dream about something that seems impossible when you first think of it, but as you go along, it becomes more and more close to reality. You know,
strive for it.
You know, like I was a kid, I had posters on my wall of other bands, and I wish one day I could be doing that. Now I'm doing that. You know, so they do come true. You just gotta work real hard.
You just gotta work step by step towards it.
And believe in yourself, and you know, I think you gotta follow your heart and your decisions. Stand by them. I think that's very important. You know, a lot of times, a lot of things I did were not what people think we should have done it, but I think in the end, I think it was the right thing to do, especially on the records itself. The diversity of the albums that I make, they're very different from one another, and I think that's really difficult to do, but pays off in the long run, because you can say you created something different all the time. You always give somebody, the fans, something new that they weren't expecting, instead of taking the easy road out, which was just copy yourself and just give them the same thing over and over and over. I didn't want to do that, so I'd rather crack my brain and try to give them something different all the time.
Sure. Well, I know you probably must learn also from working with these different collaborations. You learn something from everyone and kind of grow. I'm going to mention a few names here and talk about what you may have learned from them. I know you collaborated with Dave Grohl, you know, from Nirvana and Foo Fighters on the Probot, you know, Red War. What is it like working with Dave, and what you learn from him?
Well, he's such a big metal fan that was very contagious kind of guy. With his passion for metal is really cool, and he was being such a big personality in the rock world, but also his love for metal is very, very evident on Probot. That the idea of Probot is what kind of like, almost like I wish I had that idea, you know, almost like jealous of Dave for having that idea before me, you know. What a great idea. Make an album, have your favorite singers come and sing on each song, you know. It's awesome. And I was very honored to be one of them, one of the people that he chose, you know, and we did Red War. And then I got to meet Dave a couple more times after that, and then eventually my book came out last year, and I got Dave to do the introduction of the book. You know, it was very honored of me asking him to do that.
Yeah.
So he's a really, really awesome guy. I think
He's very humble.
Very humble. I mean, from the popularity, he's such a massive figure.
Yeah.
You know, but he still loves his metal, man, which is really, really cool.
It's never gone to his head.
Yeah. So I think you learn from that, you know.
Sure.
You can get real big, but still don't forget your roots, you know, and your passion, where it all started, you know.
Of course, never lose that. And how about Tom Araya of Slayer, also has Latin roots. You know, what do you learn from working with someone like Tom?
Well, Tom, I was such a big Slayer fan. And for me, it was very extra special because for a time, Sepultura and Slayer were looking at as enemies. You know, we had a media
competitive.
War. Yeah, competition and a little bit of war of words. You know, they said some bad stuff, and we got kicked out of a tour with Sepultura had with them. We got kicked out of that tour, and So it was a bad vibe for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to actually have Tom on Primitive on a Soulfly album, it had an extra good taste for me. It was like I conquered something, you know. It's like all that's
got rid of the negative.
Water under the bridge, man. This is a new era.
Yeah.
And I always been a Slayer fan, so I really, that whole week that we record Terrorist, all I listened in my car was Slayer from morning to night. So I was very excited for having Tom coming in and doing that. I was so excited that I actually asked him to sing part of Criminally Insane on the song, and I sang a little bit of Inner Self. And I think I kind of freaked him out a little bit about that. I don't think he really wanted to do that, and I kind of forced him to, no, you have to do it. No, you gotta do it, you know. But he ended up being a sport, and he did it, and it came out really cool.
Sure. Now, how about Jello Biafra from the Dead Kennedys?
Yeah, great.
Very
guy.
interesting guy.
Very interesting man.
Yeah. What was that
Our
like?
connection with him came from our love of punk rock. Me and he were growing up listening to a lot of underground punk like Black Flag, Dead Kennedys, and Discharge on English side of things.
Yes.
And well, we met Jello, and then I decided to ask him to write the lyrics for a song on Chaos AD. We had this fast song without any lyrics, and I always loved the sarcasm. They had songs like Holiday in Cambodia, you know, and Kill the Poor.
Yeah.
You know, like Rambozo. You know, he's so sarcastic and funny, mix humor with politics, and doing it in a very clever way. So when I first heard that the title of the song that he gave me is going to be called Biotech is Godzilla, I almost lost it. Like, oh, this is the coolest, man. This is the coolest. I'm so happy we had this idea to work with Jello. And yeah, we kept the friendship going. We see him a lot every time we play San Francisco, he comes to the shows, and it's always good.
Fantastic. Now, how about Sean Lennon? To be able to collaborate with John Lennon's son, what was that like?
I think for me it was very, very cool because I like experimenting with different people.
Yes.
And different backgrounds, and Sean is as different as it gets, you know. But from being from such a big name and being so humble like he was, he didn't want to stay in a hotel. He wanted to stay in my house and worked very hard on the song with me. In fact, the producer flew home. He was going through a divorce, and Sean actually produced that song himself and took over the whole board, and he was amazing on it. He knew everything to do on the board, and I was very, very impressed by that. And he kicked all of our asses on foosball table. He was amazing. He kicked my ass, all my friends' ass. We thought we were good until we played him, and then we were decimated.
That's crazy, incredible. And I know, of course, you've collaborated with Chino from Deftones. And Dez from Cold Chamber. What is like working on those guys?
Chino and me is the beginning of Soulfly. It's where Soulfly is actually born.
Okay.
Recording with them on Around the Floor, we did the song Head Up, and on the song Head Up I said Soulfly. The first time I thought of the word Soulfly was on that song. And after 1 year of looking for a name, and I have 1,000 Brazilian names that all sounded the same, I actually went back to the lyrics of Around the Floor of Head Up and decided to call the band Soulfly. And I collaborated with Chino twice in Soulfly. He was in our first record on a song called First Commandment, and he was on Primitive on a song called Pain.
Yes.
Very dear friend, very good friend. And I love the Deftones. I think they're one of the most amazing bands that keep making good record after good record.
Sure.
And I heard a little bit of the new one. It's gonna be another great record, you know. So very, very special band.
Sure. I know you've also had the chance to work with Corey Taylor from Slipknot.
Yeah.
What is working with Corey like?
Well, Corey was interesting because it was kind of freaky. We had the chance to Jump the Fuck Up was written in the studio, and I found out that Slipknot was playing in Phoenix. So I just drove there and pretty much kidnapped him from his sound check and took him to the studio, and we did the song in 3 hours. Everything. You know, he never even heard anything, just right there on the spot.
Yeah.
So very natural, very organic.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous as spontaneous as can be, and it became one of my favorite songs I ever did. And he's a very very creative person.
Yeah.
You know, especially in situations like that where you didn't have too much time to prepare for the song, and you come up with the stuff that he came up with in the studio. The lyrics were really amazing. I was really very, very impressed, and it was kind of like, it was one of my favorite days ever, because we recorded during the day for like 3-4 hours, and then we all went to the Slipknot show at nighttime and just headbanged the whole show. You know, Slipknot was playing a lot of the first album stuff, which I think is amazing. So it's like the perfect day. It doesn't get any better than that, you know. So it was really killer.
Full course. And I know you collaborate with your brother Igor on Cavalera Conspiracy, and I know that's special. But tell us a little bit about Kill or Be Killed. You know, you have Troy from Mastodon and Greg from Dillinger Escape and all that. What is that project like, and do you hope to do more?
Yeah, well, Kill or Be Killed, it's really kind of, it's Greg's idea. I wasn't looking for something. Greg was really insistent, and we worked together on Rise of the Fallen, and you know, he really wanted to do a project kind of like Nail Bomb, and it started like Nail Bomb. It was just me and him, so it was very punk rock. But then when we added Troy to the mix, it changed. It became a super group, and it's still today one of my most great memory, favorite studio albums I've done. Is the Kill or Be Killed album. A lot of fun. I play all the guitars, you know, which was really, for me, a big feast, you know, and I was very excited to do that. I have not played that much guitar in a record in a long time like that, because in Soulfly I share with Mark, so we both do a little bit.
Yes.
On Kill or Be Killed, it was all me. You know, Greg didn't want to play, so I was like, you play all the guitars, I don't care. So I was like, wow, this is killer, but a lot of pressure at the same time. But it's such good guys, man. Troy's an awesome guy, and Greg is a very energetic guy. So that project is really close to my heart. I wish I could do more. I wish we could tour more with it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, everybody's in their own bands all the time.
Hard to align.
So we don't get to do much, but I think we're gonna work on another album next year and release a powerful second record, and hopefully it'll be really good. I think now that I know them better, the musicianship, I know Troy better and Greg better, I think we can take this thing even further and make a really amazing second record.
Sure. Well, Max, always a pleasure to see you. Started the tour. I know it's going to be a great one.
Thank you.
Best of luck on Archangel and all the great music to come.